Yeah. Pick the phone up. Luke Dawg says, pick the phone up. Doing streams that are live. Runny's in the back, yelling loud, yo, what's up? Now guys, we back with TD. Yeah, I said it, we back with TD. The daily gritty committee pity the fool that's Scam City in the middle of 11D.
Where's my stream?
Y'all know the name. Luke's Doghouse in a dance.
There it is.
You all up in the scam center, initiated. Straight from the original plan, you deviated. What's up,
guys?
Luke's point art, the rings that's cold. You so plantains round the block, what's up, coins that's cold.
That are cold,
when
yeah.
I'm on the stream and it's all good, I'm soon to waste a few control the control. Also, many drop scammers like a microphone. Block calls like strap to a foot goal. If you're holding up the call, then you know how to go. Pick the phone up. Luke Dawg says, pick the phone up. Doing streams that are live. Rundy's in the back and loud, yo, what's up?
Now guys, we bank with TD.
Yeah, I said it.
We bank with TD.
Daily gritty committee pity the fool.
What's up, guys?
In the middle of 11D. Yo, where you at? Scam town, let me see him. 11/7's in the copy. Black Daddy making sure the scammers sloppy. And it don't stop until after another copy. Ignorant mind freedom. Tired of the same old scam, this you'll agree. You fun pissed 11 times 11. If we get together and the rest is plenty. Some might say this song is the bestest because we tear down scammers and they rage us. Whether you're fighting the same war or Nexus, they say they
We got DeyO on the beats.
Wicked like the Exorcist.
DeyO on the beat.
If you holding up the call, you go. Pick the phone up. Luke Dawg says, doing streams that are live. Runny's in the back and loud, yo, what's up? Now guys, we bank with TD. Yeah, I said it.
What's up, Karen? What's up, David? Little Peace. Bashful Scambaiter Terry.
Tech support, pick
David,
the phone up.
Ross, Norma, Shaka, Doctor, Eva, Grace. I saw music in here. What's up, guys? TNA Hunter. Guys, that was a original parody by our man DeyO, our man of the hour. So yeah, guys, I haven't had luck with Scambait calls the last, I think, 3 days. So I figured we'll just replace the calls today with an interview with my buddy DeyO. So I'm just going to get started here. We're going to get into the script. I got a script, you guys. I'd like to welcome you all to Luke's Doghouse, where I interview some of my favorite Scambaiters. Today I'd like to welcome Dey, who has a great channel titled DeyO, Scamming the Scams. Although this is an interview, I need to take the Scambaiter's privacy into consideration, therefore asking questions more pertaining to the Scambait itself. If you're not familiar with scambaiting, it's the art of wasting as much of a known scammer's time in hopes to steer them away from scamming others. If chat has any questions they'd like to ask, feel free to post in chat. I'll attempt to get to those questions asked at the end. If you're watching a playback of this live interview, you can click the live chat button and follow along with chat. Please follow DeyO by simply clicking the link in the description. Dey, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Luke.
There's DeyO, guys. We got Dey in the house. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, man? It's Victoria Day here in Canada, so...
Oh, happy Victoria Day.
Thanks, man. So I obviously can be here and have a chat with you, so it's awesome.
Do you guys have lockdown going on there where you're at?
Yeah, we have lockdown, but they're easing the restrictions, I think, in different phases and stuff like that. So they just kind of saying, you can gather in groups of 50, but maintain, your distance kind of thing, that kind of stuff.
Where do you mind telling people where you're at?
Yeah, I'm in Canada.
He's in Canada, eh? We got
yeah,
I think of my first Canadian interview.
All right, eh? Thanks for having me on here, everybody.
It's pretty complicated with Victoria Day, but I thought It might help people that might not know what's up. How did you get the name DeyO?
Um, what's funny because like I've had a few nicknames, I guess, growing up. Like my channel name has evolved since I started. But it's just kind of like a play on my name. So anywhere that I've worked, people obviously, you know, when I'd say, "Hey, how's it going?" They'd say, "Hey, what's your name?" And I'm like, "Hey, it's Day," and they'd be like, "DeyO, DeyO." So I was like, "All right, I'll just go with that." So it just kind of went with that. Just decided, okay, let's go DeyO.
I like it. I like it a lot. Well, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're able to join me today. Like I said, you know, the last few Mondays have just been rough on scammers. I haven't had really any luck. I think maybe last week or the week before I had at least a good half hour or something, but that's about it. So I appreciate you today. Um, were you born there in Canada?
No, man, I actually was born in Central America.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I came to Canada. I was a wee lad, if you will. So I was a little kid, and I had to take ESL for 3 years to learn English.
Wow.
So, yeah, man.
Do you speak any other languages?
Yeah, I speak Spanish fluently, and I speak a little bit of French, but mostly just kind of understand I can understand, like, if someone's speaking to me in French, I can understand what they're saying, but I can't necessarily speak fully back to them, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, it makes sense. That's pretty cool, man. I did not know that. That's why we do these interviews,
Yeah.
is we get to know a little bit about some of these people that we watch. Did you go to attend school in Canada?
I grew up in Toronto, so I went to school, just like regular public school in Toronto, and went, like I said, because I had to take ESL for 3 years, man, and it's crazy, but you know, when you don't speak English, and you know, we hear it when we're talking to like the scammers, right? Like they have an accent and whatever. So like I understand the accent, so I don't fault them for the accent. I completely understand it. Like my mom has an accent, and so I'm like, okay, I get it. But at the same time, it's like it really pushed me to really learn English as quickly as I possibly could. So lots of things like Gem and the holograms, I really don't really usually admit that. Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, you know, all those TV shows like actually really helped me learn English.
That's really cool. That's actually I wish I would have learned English from like Daffy Duck and some of those guys. I'd probably be have a much better vocabulary. Um, did you play any sports or activities while you were going to school?
Yeah, man. I played pretty much everything once, I want to say grade 2 and onward, when I actually started getting kind of decent at sports. Yeah,
Gotcha.
And I started playing sports more often, and then I won the grade 6 athletic award.
Really?
That was like my claim to fame, and then after that it just went downhill. Like I couldn't play against like basketball guys who were way taller than me. It was hard.
Yeah, I hear that, man. I played some sports and I was definitely better when I was a kid. We got some questions flowing in that I can ask right now. You ever do any break dancing?
Yeah, man. I started breakdancing when I was like, not while scambaiting. I think Music is a Rainbow asked that question.
Yeah, Music wanted to know if you've ever done it. That would be tough. That'd be all breakdancing while you're on a call. Like, hey man, I'm just in the middle of my workout.
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta do a backspin. Hold on. So yeah, I started breaking when I was, I want to say about my last year of high school. I was 18 or so.
Yeah.
And I was in what do you call it? Like an amateur crew in Toronto. We'd always come in second place, which really bugged us. But we always lost to the same crew.
Really?
So I did it competitively for a couple of years, and then you know, as my body started feeling it, like my knees and mostly my knees, not my back or anything. But yeah, and after that, that's kind of.
Did you ever wear parachute pants?
No, I did wear some pants though that I cut the cuff like at the bottom. and I stuck a shoelace through them so I could tie them, so that I could actually pull them up and tie them around my knee, so that I could just, I don't know, I don't even know what kind of pants they were, like windbreaker, I think the windbreaker pants or stuff like that. So
Nice, dude. No zipper pants or anything?
no zipper pants, no.
That was more like the 80s, man. That was definitely the 80s.
Yeah.
I remember when I really wanted a pair of zipper pants, um, or parachute pants. And then when I finally did get a pair of parachute pants, I was in 5th grade, and they were like a knockoff pair where they had like, they're made of this weird fabric that was almost like they just took a mesh and then spray painted it black, and then it was a really weird fabric. But I didn't realize that the crotch, all the paint had fallen off on the crotch, so it was basically just like nothing there. And I wore those things all the time. I mean, I rocked those pants, and people were always laughing and shit. And I'm like, what's so funny? And then I found out that they could see my donger. So that's my breakdance history. I don't really have much of a breakdance history other than I love rap. You like rap music, don't you?
I love rap, man. I love rap.
Yeah. DeyO's done several parody songs, and he has some plans for some more songs, mostly involving Scambaiters. His first one was about me. It was that song we played at the beginning, and that was hilarious. I saw that the one that you did about G-Man got banned here in the country. I don't know if it's banned I don't know if it's banned in your country, but I can't view it here in the States. It has been removed from the playlist, which is sad. It was a good one. They're all good.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure if you knew that or not. But yeah, you're that one, and there was another one that I think is banned here in the States because copyright.
Probably Joe's.
No, Joe's was still good. I'll look real quick here while we're.
Might have been Adams.
Let me look here real quick.
Yeah, it might have been Adams. So what I do is, like, I take existing rap songs, and I just take the beat, and then I just rap over them. You know, like, from my understanding, that's fair use. My understanding, but that's cool. Like, I get it. Like, originally that don't have that.
Yeah.
So it'll just be me rapping over, like, no copyright beats kind of thing. So.
Right. Yeah, it just looks like G-Man's. It says video blocked in the country.
Okay.
But that's probably just our country.
That's all good.
Yeah. John Wright just threw $2 at us. Thank you, John. Very kind of you. Did you attend college after your high school days?
Yeah, actually, I went to college for visual arts. Which is funny to me because I wanted to be a computer animator. I wanted to make movies like with Pixar and all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
And then I got to college and I saw, like, the lack of talent that I had. Compared to everyone else, I was like, you know, nobody hire me, man. Screw this. So I just kind of I was done. Luckily, I didn't get into any student debt. Like, I paid for all my school.
Yeah.
And didn't have to worry about, like, taking on a loan or whatever. But then after that, I was like, you know what? That's it, man. I'm done. And then I was done with school. So I've never been back. I need to give talks. Never. That's it. So.
Now, did this just came into my head? Did you just say something about TED Talks? Or did that just
sorry?
Did I just have a reminder of TED Talks for some reason? For some reason, TED Talks just came into my head. Did you ever do anything with them?
Yeah, I did. I gave one.
About what?
About money.
Really?
And, yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool, man.
That's my line of work, so I was asked to give a TEDx talk, and so I did.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I've heard of them. I never watched one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I should check it out, man. You should.
They're pretty. There's some really good ones.
You should do a viewing party on your channel, and we should watch it. That'd be fun. Did you ever marry and have kids?
Yeah, actually, I did get married, and then I had like, how many kids am I on now? Shoot, man, I lost count, man, after like the 8th one.
Yeah. You have a whole basically a farm of kids, right?
And it's like a ton of them. So
Yeah. And are you currently married?
yeah, I'm married, and yeah, I mean, I've been married for almost 7 years. It'll be 7 years this June coming up, actually. So.
Oh, nice, man. Any pets running around the house?
Other than the kids, no.
No little puppy, no little macaroni running around.
No, we've been talking about getting like a pet, like getting. I want a bird. I know it sounds kind of weird. Like I grew up with a couple of budgies. So
What's a budgie?
Budgies like those little green and like the little blue birds. They just kind of like I don't know. They don't even do that sound. I just freaking did a really bad impression. But
Gotcha.
yeah. And then there's my wife had a bunny before, so she wants another bunny.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Mark Knight's right. A budgie's a parakeet.
Now, when she had a bunny, did she have it in a cage, or did she let it like chill out in the house and run around?
No, it was in the cage.
Yeah.
But it was one of those what are they called? They're like really weird looking bunnies, man. I don't know what to tell you about those, but they were basically I forget what it's called. Anyways, anytime I would come into the basement, like, because when we were dating, I'd come down. All of a sudden, the friggin' bunny in the cage would just like have a heart attack and just like, you know, and that scared the crap out of me. I'd be like, freak, what the hell was that? Like, it was the bunny. The bunny being scared of me, and the freak would scare the crap out of me. So.
Dude, that's awesome. What kind of things do you and the family do for entertainment?
We like to go on. I don't know if it's entertainment so much, but we go on walks.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
No, that's good.
And yeah, my kid's learning how to ride a scooter, so he's kind of running around like that.
Oh, that's awesome. The good times.
There's we'll go out and we'll take them to like different playgrounds and stuff around the city and stuff, and just have them kind of run around. My son, I like to go play like sports with my son because he's actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is our retirement. I'm like, we have to invest in him.
The next Jordan.
Who knows, man? You never know.
Exactly. Hey, if it ain't gonna be me, I hope it's the kid.
Yeah, for real.
Awesome, man. You make some pretty sweet. Are they Muppets or puppets? What's the difference between a Muppet and a puppet?
So I think it's just the legality. I can't really say the word, like I can't call it a Muppet because I think Muppets are Jim Henson creation. I think.
Okay, gotcha. So it's just a.
Go with puppet, like yeah. Generally, I always call it a Muppet, but yeah, it's a puppet. But yeah, I made them initially to basically. I made it to make sure that my kid wasn't just watching Sesame Street.
Right.
So I wanted to have his own that he could talk to and whatever. So he named it Moop, and then after that, just kind of went from there. So
those are pretty sweet, man. It would be fun if somehow down the line you could do like a parody using the Muppets, because you do a really good job making those. They're very quality looking. They got good characters. What I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So let's talk about scambaiting a little bit. How long have you been scambaiting?
Let's do it. It'll be 2 years this June. It'll be 2 years.
Congratulations on that. You're real close to 2,000 subs. I think you're what, like 30 away or 25 away. So
yeah,
hopefully we can get you above that here soon. It's always nice to hit those little landmarks,
Yeah.
What got you into scambaiting?
So funny enough, there's someone really close to me that was being catfished. and I mean, we like did everything to like explain to them, like, you know, being catfished, and they didn't want to believe it. So we did some like investigative work and did like a reverse look of the picture the guy was using to catfish.
Yeah.
And we found the, what do you call it? We found the Twitter account that it was related to, and then we found like a ton of his pictures and stuff on there. So then, you know, we brought it to this person's attention, and they were sad, man. Like, they were just devastated, just, you know, they cried, and I felt like, who the hell would do something like that to someone? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That is crazy, man.
Did it turn out to be somebody that they knew, or was it just a random catfishing?
No, it was a random catfishing. It was some African dude.
Crazy. Oh, so probably looking for some, you know, like a catfish of love, and I'm stuck in this country. I need some help right now. Damn.
Yeah. And then so a family member, they actually, you know, I guess this is like breaking the law, but whatever. They were just doing it to help the person, but they basically were able to get into the person left their Facebook account open.
Yeah.
And so they went into the Facebook account and did a message search. I don't know if you know this, but on Facebook you could actually download like your entire message history, like all of it.
Yeah.
Like every single message you've ever sent, received, everything you can download. I didn't know that, but so this person downloaded it, and then they went through the messages and searched for, like, just put a $sign.
Yeah.
And they found that this person had been basically not catfished before, but they had given money to people in the past that weren't actually real people, right? And so they weren't like legitimate people. So then we kind of were scared that they would be doing it again with this catfish guy. So anyway, so that was kind of like what got like piqued my interest into actually going like, holy crap, man, like this is an actual thing that's happening to people. And then how I actually started the YouTube, my YouTube channel is like fairly old. It's like from 2011, but I would just do like random videos like how to pronounce jalapeño, you know, how to do this, you know, like it's just random, honestly, dude, like random videos once in a while. And then it wasn't until I was in the car, I was listening to the radio, and one of the radio hosts was like, hey, so we just got off the phone with one of these CRA scammers, and this is their phone number. If you guys want to give them a call, give us a call back and let us know how it goes. So, like, I called back, you know, and by the way, like, this is something, you know, something that's important, I think, that some people forget, too, is that people think, like, scam baiting is an easy thing, and it can be, to a certain extent, I think, but there's a lot that people don't realize, like, you have to do, like, to protect yourself. You have to kind of think like the scammer, right? You have to get maybe like a fake number, get like you know, a fake email, you know, like you have to do something so that you're also not outing yourself, if that makes sense, right? Like not putting your information there. And so anyways, I didn't know that, man, like at all, right? So I just called the scammer back. Right? CRA. I just called it back. And I did how you doing today? I'm trying to talk to you, right? I wanted to talk about my problem with my tax or something, like that. And the guy just, like, went off on me, like, in Hindi. Like, he just started, you know, blah, 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 just started swearing at me. And I thought it was funny, so I called the radio station back, and I was like, yeah, I just called them, and I did an accent, and they just swore a storm at me, and blah, blah, blah. And then the radio station is like, really? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, would you like to do like a call for us? And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, we'll call you tomorrow, we'll put them on the line, and then you can do a call and we'll record it. And I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And so then my very first Scambait video that you see on my channel is that very call, right? That was my first like full, like, I guess, Scambait call. And then after that happened, they're like, can you make a video for us? And I said, sure. So I made the video for them. And then I sent them the video, and then I asked if I could upload it to my channel. They said absolutely. So I put it on my channel. And then after that, dude, I was like, that was fun, man. That was fun making fun of the scammers, you know, Make people laugh. I'm like, cool, yeah, I can do this, and then I still kept calling, man, with my cell phone number.
Yeah.
Right? Dude, I did that for like 4 months, maybe 3 or 4 months. No idea, right?
Right.
And I remember being in a live stream. I can't remember whose live stream it was, but I think I remember I asked. I was like, hey, everyone kept saying like, my Fire RTC is down. Anyone else having issues with Fire RTC? And I was like, how's Fire RTC?
What's a Fire RTC?
So I asked, and then yeah, and I was like, how do you use like fake numbers? And Little Piece, bless her heart, man. Little Piece is such a massive help for the community. But
yeah,
she was like, yeah, Fire RTC. And this is before Fire RTC like stopped taking new accounts on.
right.
So Fire RTC and what do you call it? Like Text Now. And then I was like, done. So I got those, and then that's what I used. So.
Are you still getting calls on your regular cell phone from getting on their list?
No.
Yeah.
Like I maybe in the entire time that I've been scambaiting, I've maybe gotten a total of 5 calls, maybe.
Oh wow.
On my actual cell.
Yeah.
But, which surprised me, right? Because I was like, oh yeah, here's my number. Put it in all your databases.
Yeah. Yeah, I did the same. Like for probably the first year, I just used my cell. And it's also because I kind of don't really give a shit. They can get whatever info they want. Everything that they can find online about me is old info, anyways. But no, it is kind of funny how many calls I get, and most of them are for WrestleMania. So apparently, I gave them the name WrestleMania attached to my number, and it got spread around to a bunch of people because it's always for WrestleMania. So that's kind of funny. So I guess that's what kind of got you into. That was probably your first Scambait call then too, huh? The one that was recorded that you did for the radio station, other than the few previous calls to the same people, right?
Oh, that was literally like, I would say that was my first call. Like the first time that I called them, I was like, yeah, hi, Carla, and he just literally like went off on me and swore at me.
Yeah.
And I just called the station like right away. I called this radio station back, and I was like, hey, so you said to call you guys if you got a reaction from them? Like, yeah, that's what they told me. They're like, oh, can you do another one? And I was like, sure. And that call that you see on the like that's on my channel, the one was my, I guess, second call ever to scammers.
That's awesome.
So,
what's your favorite kind of scam call?
Man, that's a tough one. I don't want to say I like them all because I actually would rather not make scam calls.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that if I had to go with one, it would be. I just did so many of them, so I would say CRA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you like the CRA calls?
Just because, well, like I can relate to, because I'm in Canada, right? So
right.
It's a lot easier for me to fake Canadian stuff.
Right.
With US, I'd have to like look up stuff and be like, oh, whereas with Canada, I've lived in a bunch of different places, so I can actually make stuff up.
Right.
So, but they don't really exist anymore, which is good. So.
Right now, it's tough, but they're all gonna come back with different ones. I'm sure they're working on some right now, something to, you've dealt with some recent COVID ones, haven't you?
Yeah, like my last video was a COVID scam, and I'm working on a grant one still. It ended maybe 2 or 3 days ago, but it lasted for almost 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, that was my first time that I've ever done a grant one. I've been working on the video. But yeah, the COVID one was interesting because I was like, damn, like, I made a couple videos about, or a video I think on COVID scams, and then all of a sudden, like, there are actually like people who are legitimately like doing those things, right? Like calling people or trying to scam them. I'm like, damn.
What is that scam? What are they trying to pull on that scam?
It's basically like, it's the same, man. It's like an advanced fee scam. So, hey, you qualify to receive X amount in money from such and such a person as relief for the coronavirus. Would you like to claim this money? It's up to you. And then they would kind of ask you for all your personal info, fill out this form, like a grant scam, basically, like an advanced fee scam, whatever.
Yeah.
It's, yeah.
G-Man also donated $25 a few minutes ago. I want to say thanks to G-Man and let you know that I'm always thinking about you, buddy. You're a good
Absolutely,
dude.
man.
G-Man's a good dude. What's the most ridiculous scam you've ever heard?
The most ridiculous scam that I've ever heard?
Yeah.
I think they're all ridiculous, but
Yeah, they are.
I don't know, man. I think they're all equally kind of ridiculous. I think maybe like the specific ones, like a Roku or like Amazon, like those that are specific to a certain product. I think those are kind of dumb.
I always get a kick out of the 22 pounds of cocaine. I think that's
That's
pretty damn ridiculous.
Yeah.
How many hours a week or how much time a week do you put in calling scammers? I know you got a family and you don't have the time that a lot of people do have.
So the thing is like I do call. The challenge is like for me is just I don't make videos because of my kids, right? My kids are screaming in the background. It's a little bit harder to make. Like no one wants to hear screaming kids in the background of a video kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
And dude, my kids, like the 15 of them, they like scream loud, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just it's easier to talk to the scammer, but it's not as easy to make like to do like a live stream or to do a video. But I would say I spend maybe about 3 hours a week on like in the week like calls.
Yeah.
But not where like I'm like constantly like going after it. It's almost like I got some time right now. Like I'll just make a couple calls and.
Right, because you don't have a lot of free time as it is. Like there was a time in there where you weren't sure if you were going to continue doing YouTube. Is that correct?
Yeah. No, there was a time where I was like, I felt like I was just I was editing videos and I was up to like 2 o'clock in the morning editing videos, and I wanted to do certain things, but I'm also limited in my knowledge on editing. So I was like, damn, I don't know how to do that, but I want to do that. And then I would like look up tutorials and I'd be like trying to figure it out, and I'd literally be till like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, I didn't even work on the video. I was learning how to work on the video.
Right. And
then I would try to work on the video, and then the program would freeze, and my computer was the slowest computer in the world. So it was like, it just sucked. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take a break from YouTube, and I'm just not gonna be in people's live streams as much either. Just I found myself being in live streams more than paying attention to my kids, and I was like, yeah, that's not how I roll. You know what I mean? So I was like, I had to nip that in the bud. So I decided, and I was like, okay, boom, I see that, and that's kind of it. So.
Well, I mean, that's good. That's good. You know, it's in Scambait is one of those. It's one of those communities where you don't have to be there all the time. Everyone remembers people from the past and whatnot. We know if you're there or not. You just have to jump in and say, hey. I mean, there's people that disappear for a year and a half, and then they show up in a stream, and it's like they never left. You know, they're right back in the family, good to go. So, you know, we totally understand when that happens. Plus, it is probably one of those things where you could, you know, people can use a break, because I'll tell you what, after hearing that script 300 times, it gets pretty old. But it's the reactions and where you can take it from there that's so much fun. And speaking of that, you do a lot of voices. How many voices have you got in your bank right now?
I mean, I could do some. I think I really need to work on a lot of them. I could probably pull off 10, I think. Like 10 accents anyway, and some voices. But, like, I have a lot of work to do. Like, even, like, I know a lot of people like the Jamaican, they like the Jamaican one, but it's like, I got a lot of work to do with that one. Like, it's not authentic fully yet. I can probably do a better Trinidadian accent than I can a Jamaican accent, which is something that I haven't done on a video, is the Trinidadian accent. So
can we get a sample of it?
Sorry?
Can we get a sample of it?
The Trinidadian one?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So for example, like okay, so someone will call and I say, yes, hello? Yeah, someone just called my number just now. I just tried to find out who called me. And, you know, there's like a little that's kind of how they talk. It's kind of like a little bit of a singy kind of like, somebody just called me. I don't know who called me, but what the hell wrong with she, huh?
I like it, dude. What's one's your favorite to do?
Definitely, I think if I have a go-to, I really like to do Mambutu. I don't know why I like to do this one, but it is just one of my favorite ones to do. I think maybe because there's a story to it. That's why. So
that's important. That's really important.
There's a story to Mambutu. So for me, it's like maybe that's why I have a relationship with it.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome, man. Do your I don't want to get the nationality wrong. Do your book Lao impression.
yeah, you're talking about that, like,
yeah.
like that's what he says in his videos, yeah. Yeah, so I had a call, so Tammy Turbo I saw earlier, she asked, like, what's up my favorite Scambait call, and I would say, like, one of my favorite ones is the one I did with Adam from IRX Scammers, like, when we did the IP address, right? IP here, why does someone try to get into my IP address? IP here, they're not coming to pay in my house, right? I said, this is what IP. So I did that, and Tammy, I don't know if Tammy's still here, but she asked what was one of my favorite Scambait calls. When I think of my favorite Scambait calls, that's one of the ones that actually really sticks out to me a lot is the IP address one, and also the one where I actually went to, I think it's like a Hallmark reading of the cards, where they asked me to read gift cards, and I literally picked up a bunch of, like, birthday cards and, like, would read the gift card. I thought those are gift cards, right? So I would, like, read. I read, like, all these things to the scammer on what the card said, but...
That's awesome, man. Do you have any, like, catchphrases or taglines that you've adopted?
I think, besides the heyo, DeyO kind of thing, there's like, you mean with my characters, or?
Yeah, with your characters, or even, we could talk about your, 2 gazillion, 322 bazillion, because, you came up with that, and that is one of the funniest things, because it messes, it's like the 11-7, it messes them up. It throws them off. It's super easy to figure out if you know numbers, but they can never figure it out. Yeah, you just if you say 3 quadrillion, I'm just gonna write 3, the next number. But it's hilarious. You want to give us a sample of your numbers?
Sure. It's 5 quadrillion, 421 trillion, 360 billion, 447 million. 225,153.
Whoa, sir! That's your MasterCard number?
Yeah, you want the full 16 digit, right? You said
yeah. Do it one by one. Do it one by one.
No, sir, it's not a one. There's not a one here. There's a 16 digits, right? So I don't know, like, what.
Yeah, do it one by one. Do it one by one.
Okay, so it's 5 quadrillion. 421 trillion, and so forth. There's like, I have little things, like, I guess, nuances with some characters. Like with Gary, I like to say, "Do what now?"
Yeah.
Do what now?
Yeah.
I like to say that, and that came from, like, when I used to work in a call center in Toronto, and I would call people to do surveys, and oftentimes Southern United States, you'd have the person going, "Do what now? Do what now? Do what now?" So I'm like, all right, yeah, that's freaking Americans are hilarious. So I'm like, I'm gonna use that. And the story behind Mambutu is I was literally at a bus stop right outside of a Burger King, and there was an African lady there, and she was on the phone with someone, and I was waiting for a buddy to come pick me up, and all of a sudden she's like, "Where are you? I don't see you. I'm at the corner in the bus stop booth. I'm near the Burger King. Near the Burger King." And dude, I first heard that, man, it was hard for me not to laugh. But once I got in my buddy's car, I said, "Thank you for picking me up near the Burger King," and he just busted out laughing. And then that's kind of like the story behind like Mambutu. So I'm like, okay, I love that, man. I love it.
That's awesome, man. Oh god. What scammer phrase or word pisses you off? Is there anything that they say that just kind of sets you off and angers you?
Nah, nothing like angers me. I think I mean it's annoying, but I really like when they say Luke on your keyboard, just because it's just funny to me to Luke on my keyboard. I find that funny.
Oh god. So would that be your favorite word or phrase that a scammer uses?
Uh, no, I think my favorite one to date was probably from that call. That's why I have it in my intro, where it's like, "Why you have done such a thing?" That freaking, when he said that, dude, oh man, I almost lost it. It's like, "Why you have done?" When they used to say that, "Why you have done such a thing? Is it a mistake according to you, or intentional act to defraud government? Tell me, you know, like that."
Oh,
That
I
would really
love
make me laugh.
it. Has a scammer ever made you angry?
Nah. Well, that's not true. The coronavirus scammer, like the video I just uploaded.
Yeah.
I was actually yelling at the guy. Like I've never really yelled at scammers, but I was
Right.
actually yelling at the scammer.
What did he do
Like,
to piss you off?
well, he was like telling me that you know, I needed to do a video call or to prove who I was, and I'm like, I've proved who I am. You know, I've sent you all this information. Where is your proof? You know, you haven't sent me anything. I don't even know if you're a real person. You know, like all this kind of stuff. So it was like going back and forth on them trying to get me to send them more info. And then I was like, are you freaking kidding? Dude, on the fly with this scammer, I literally would go into like my phone, I'd take a picture of like something on like something I would find, and then I would make it, I would save it as like a super blurry picture, and I would send it to them, right? Like on the fly, like, and then he's like, okay, now hold it in your hand, and I would put it in my hand, take a blurry picture, and then send it to them, like again, and they were like, oh, these are photoshopped, and I was like, no, man, they're all legit. Like I actually made these, and Photoshop. So
That's some good stuff. You should anytime you get a good blurry photo, post those on Twitter so other people can steal them and use them.
oh yeah, for sure.
Because those are kind of hard to come by unless you make them yourself. Some good blurry photos to send to the scammers. Who's the first Scambaiter that you enjoyed, that you started watching, or that you were introduced to, or that that you checked out?
Okay, so so I've been, ever since I was a kid, like I have been doing like little accents here and there, and my mom would always pull me in front of people and be like, okay, now do the Asian one, and I'd be like, you know, I'd do an Asian one, and she's like, okay, now do a Latino one, and so then I'd do a Latino one. I'd sound like my uncles whenever I do a Latino one, and then I was like, okay, you know what? I started watching Jerky Boys, right? Like Jerky. You remember?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I fell down the stairs and my shoes fell off.
Yeah, but see, I didn't really hear those. I heard mostly like, your daughter, she kicked my dog. Why did she do it? Why?
You kicked my dog.
You know that right, what she do? You know, like that.
Yeah.
That. Like when I heard that, dude, I lost it. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, I gotta learn how to do that kind of stuff. And then, you know, I watched Onage Pranks. He's called scammers before, and so he's like owned scammers like pretty well. Again, same thing, doing scammers.
Right.
And then I, when I was like, you know, when that whole situation happened with the romance scammer, the whatever, then that's when I saw Joe Scambait.
Gotcha.
And I saw a few of Joe's videos, and then I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I subscribed, and then I saw that he went live. And when he did a live stream, I was in the chat, and then I saw there's like a bunch of people in the chat, right? Like, you guys, and I was like, holy hell, man, this is like a whole thing, like, of people that call scammers. I'm like, shut up. I'm so in. You know what I mean? I'm like, I definitely want to start watching, you know, more of this kind of stuff, and that's what I did. So it was definitely Joe Scambait. Joe was my first.
That's awesome.
a Scambaiter that I saw. Oh.
Oh, that's great. Who do you have a favorite Scambaiter?
No, I don't have. I find everyone's style. Everyone has different flavors, and everyone's really good at what they do. Like Wenja is really good at what he does.
Right.
Jim Browning's obviously good at what he does. And you got the bigger channels. They're all fairly good at what they do. I think there's a lot of guys. I found myself in I'm still finding myself in that situation where it's like I have people who are like, oh, you should have more subscribers, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it'd be great. But I like almost only having, 2,000 subs because I find it allows me to interact with them a lot more.
Yeah.
But, there's definitely, I feel like a lot of, there's like Alan Green, Professor Scambaiter, Dr. Fell, Little Peace, a lot of ones that maybe people don't know that they scambait or that kind of stuff. I think those guys they're really talented. I just don't think I don't say they get enough play, but I just don't they're usually not in a conversation for some reason or whatnot that about people's scambaiters. But there's a lot of really talented smaller scambaiters that are phenomenal.
No, absolutely. You gotta and you're one of those. I think that your channel is going to be huge, so just keep up what you're doing, and you're gonna kill it. Which was my next question. Is there a smaller Scambait channel that you can recommend to others, like somebody that maybe has less than 1,000 subs that you can recommend?
Yeah, like those three that I just mentioned, like Alan Green, Professor Scambaiter, Dr. Fell. There's the Bashful Scambaiter, a Little Piece. Those are all really good quality Scambait calls, right? And so, same Daryl LaRose. He's a Canadian dude as well.
Nice.
There's a lot of good Scambaiters out there, man. It just I would recommend that everyone go check those guys out for sure, because they're really good. TNA Hunter as well, he's got some really good stuff. Things like that.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite Scambait moment, whether it's yours or somebody else's?
A favorite Scambait moment. You know what, man? I would say if I have a favorite, it would probably be just that Radio One. So for just because of what it did for me, to change me to go, okay, I want to start doing this.
Yeah.
I want to start calling scammers. I think that was like a game changer for me in the sense it made me just go oh shoot, man, like
an aha moment.
And blah, 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 yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
How long is your longest Scambait?
So right now I think 3 weeks has been my longest Scambait. Where this is the first time I've done the piece. We've been we Skype back and forth, and we've shared little snippets of the conversations we've been having with these grand scammers.
Right.
And she is obviously way better than me at editing videos because she's already put out 2 of her freaking videos, and I haven't even put out 1. But yeah, so I think the Grant scam has been one of my longest ones because it lasted almost 3 weeks, man, where we were emailing back and forth, texting back and forth. Mostly texting actually on the Grant one, and it's been awesome, man, just having something like that. So
that's exciting, and you're not really one to give up the bait. You're not one that really says at the end, "Ha ha, I got you. I just wasted your time."
Yeah, I'm trying to be better at that because I had in the past, I find, when, I don't know if I've ever gone ha, you've been baited, sucker, anything like that. And I don't think most people necessarily do that, but I was having an interesting conversation with someone on Twitter about that, and, we were disagreeing whether, should you reveal or shouldn't you reveal.
Right.
And I think it depends on what the purpose of the bait. If you're baiting because you're trying to get information from them,
yeah,
then if you're like an investigative scambaiter, like a Jim Browning, for example,
Right.
then you may not have to reveal, right? Because you can hack into stuff and look at stuff.
Right.
But other people, they might just be doing it just for the fact that they want to have a funny moment or a funny video or something along those lines. So I don't think that there's a right and a wrong way necessarily to do it. I just think that the more that we reveal, I personally think the more that they can change how they scam. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
They can, as much as we say, they're stupid, blah, 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 like they can change something in there to make it so that they're not as stupid to a victim.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe they won't get us because we know, but there's obviously a lot of people on, who don't know that stuff.
No,
right?
absolutely.
So for them, as much as possible. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and dude, I can't remember. I forgot about Illogical is awesome.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she's amazing. Who have you collaborated with in the past?
So I've collaborated. Sorry, hold on. I'm just gonna answer what G-Man said. He hears that I have a really good-looking father-in-law. He's right. Sorry, I always told G-Man he looks like my father-in-law. So
I was gonna say that's really weird. It's a weird thing to just throw in there.
Like the first time I saw G-Man, I was like, huh? I had to ask my wife. I'm like, does your dad call scammers too? Like, what the hell? But no, I know it was G-Man. Yeah, I've collabed with, Adam was the first one who he reached out to me and asked me. He's like, hey, would you like to collaborate? And I was like, yeah, sure, that'd be great, man. But I was nervous, right? Because his channel is obviously way bigger. I think maybe I had like maybe 300 subscribers at the time, so I was pretty nervous about that. And then I have, honestly, dude, I'm open to collaborating with anybody as long as it makes sense and it's a good fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you might want to collaborate with someone, but it might not actually work out, and that's okay, right? Like, you find it out, and then you say, okay, well, maybe, you have to break up now.
Yeah. We tried one once, and it didn't work.
We tried, I don't know if it worked, it just didn't work out. I'm sorry, It's not you, it's me.
It's me.
But I had a collaboration with Dr. Fell.
Yeah.
And I'd like to do more stuff with him for sure.
If you could collaborate with anybody that you haven't collaborated with, who would it be?
Anybody who wants to collaborate, really.
Yeah.
It just depends on the time, though, man. That's the thing, right? It's like, just with, if it's an easy collaboration, I could probably pull that off.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm like, sometimes I do calls in the evening. During the day, it's just a little bit tougher. I think my most recent collaboration, I just kind of did like a little bit of a reading was for Music is Rainbow. But
yeah, that was
I also
fun.
recorded something for Peace, so I think that's coming up in one of her videos. So
good. Do your friends and family know that you scambait? And if so, do they appreciate what you do?
So my friends know. Like I talk about it all the time. I even talk about it to clients. Like I'll tell them, just be aware that there's these types of scams, like especially with the CRA1. Like I always made sure that I told them about that. But I would never say check out my YouTube channel. Like I never said that. I would just say I like to mess with scammers and call them and make fun of them and blah blah blah. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And like my closer family, they know that I've called and I call scammers, and my wife just gets annoyed with the voices because I do them too much.
Oh really?
So, yeah. Like if we're having an argument to de-escalate the situation, I'm like, I don't know why you're getting so upset, right? I guess just something like we just had a disagreement. And then she's like, stop. And it just makes it worse almost. So,
oh, that's awesome. That's great, man. We're getting down to the end of it here. Do you ever feel sorry or bad for scammers?
No. I'm from a third world country, you know what I mean? and no shot.
Yeah.
No shot. I can't. The only way I think I would ever feel bad for someone is if they were scammed themselves into working in a scam call center. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Like,
but you should know after two
misread.
calls and they got the same number on both calls that something's weird. You know,
Yeah,
if you're telling somebody that you just talked to that, hey, your Toyota Corolla was just found, and then you call someone else and say, hey, your Toyota Corolla was you should be like, wait a minute, this is the same car.
Yeah, I think what I mean is like, so, they go for a job interview, they get told it's something that it's actually not, and then they kind of almost feel bad, like they kind of feel like they can't leave. Do you know what I mean? Because
and that's what happens more than anything else.
Yeah, or something along their lines, or even like that. Okay, that's understandable. But what they do, hell no, man, I don't feel bad for them at all.
Right. Yeah, because like they'll be like, hey, Microsoft is hiring, and then you gotta travel to Delhi to apply, but you'll be guaranteed a job, and they'll travel to Delhi and go in for the job, and sure as shit, it's a fake tech company or something like that. And they're kind of stuck there because they just spent all their money getting to Delhi or getting to wherever they were going to get the job, So that is tough. Someone earlier asked if you recovered from your stair fall.
Oh. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm recovered. I would say I'm 185% now. 185%. Better than ever.
So you should have some good breakdance videos coming soon.
Yeah,
awesome, man.
Putting them in the background of some stuff. So yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to add to this that we didn't discuss?
Yeah, I saw a question earlier about if I think any governments can more to stop scammers. I think obviously they could do more. Will they do more? I don't think it's that big on their radar to do stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But sometimes I wonder with like law enforcement if they have these cyber security divisions that would actually, do this kind of stuff where they'd call scammers or where they could find like the stuff that Jim finds, you know what I mean? Like things like that. But honestly, bro, I don't think they care that much, to be honest.
Yeah, it's too tough for one, but I think another thing is just until it happens to somebody big enough to want to do something, like nothing will be done. Like let's say somebody that was in cybersecurity did get scammed, and then they're like, what the? And then they realize this is a pretty big deal, and then they realize we need to do something about it.
Yeah.
Just hearing a little bit here and there isn't going to do much.
Yeah.
Plus, it's so hard to find these guys.
And then you have the whole, okay, it's our country and it's their country, and we're trying to figure out, okay, how do we make law work there and all that kind of stuff. Like, I think there's like a lot of moving that I think that's why they're not really as scared, I mean, I think the scariest thing for them is getting caught and having to hold hands with the cop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's going to be posted holding pinkies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's all I have with DeyO. My last question I always ask everybody is, what is your favorite Hindi curse word?
Oh man. I think my favorite Hindi cuss word is probably chutia, just because it just sounds like it sounds like what it might be. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, shoot, yeah, like that kind of thing, right? So, I mean, I'm not kidding though. I mean, I have walked around and heard people speak like Hindi, and like sometimes I want to like,
just to see if they look. Well, DeyO, thank you so much for spending this hour with us, man. I'm gonna wrap this up and play a little song that DeyO made. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks for taking the time to answer some questions. I hope you all enjoyed your time here. Don't forget to subscribe to DeyO. The link is in the description. And back with another interview soon. I'm not sure who, but I got a list going of people that I'm going to start crossing off that list. Hopefully next Monday we'll be back to scambaiting. And that's all I got, Day. I appreciate you hanging out with me. I appreciate all you guys for watching and hanging out and asking questions. And with that said, I'm going to end it with the old WWW dance and say bye to Day. Take care, Day.
Thanks so much, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Why you have done such a thing?
Are you mad?
Why you have done such a thing? Why you have done such a thing? Why you have done such a thing? www dot www dot www dot www dot www dot www dot www dot